Hi guys, I'm Anita and I'm back with another video. Today it's time for another book tag. It's the Mid-Year Book Freakout Tag. I was tagged by Bubbly Bookend and I will leave her channel down below. And I'll also leave the creator, it's that Chami's video down below as well, so you can go and check the original creator out. Now this tag has 15 different questions, so let's get into them. I haven't prepared anything, so we'll see. I'll find books, hopefully. The best book you've read so far in 2018. I mean, when I think about all the books that I read, I don't think I have one that completely stands out in the same way that I've usually had at this point. But I think it's gonna be either God's Gods by Terry Pratchett, which is book 8 in the Discworld series, and it's the first in a new spin-off set in the Discworld. And I loved it. It was amazing. It was just the right amount of humor. It was so cleverly written, and everything about that book I really enjoyed. Yeah, I think that must be the one that I am picking for this. I can't really think of anything else that I rated 5 that I just adored as much. Yeah, so I'm gonna go with that. Question number 2 is the best sequel you've read so far this year. I mean, I could go with God's Gods for this one as well, because it's actually a sequel in Discworld. But it's also the first in the spin-off series, so I don't know if I could use that. Otherwise, I'll definitely use White Hot by Ilona Andrews and Midnight Frost. Is that what? No, Crimson Frost. The 4th book in the Mythos Academy. I also rated 5 stars. Really enjoyed that one back in January. But I think that White Hot being like more recent, I think I enjoyed that a little bit more. So I'm gonna go with White Hot by Ilona Andrews, which is the 2nd book in Hidden Legacy series. Question number 3 is a new release you haven't read yet but you really want to. I'm currently working my way through Children of Blood and Bone, which I've really been looking forward to. Yeah, let's go with Children of Blood and Bone for this one, because it's one I've definitely been on the lookout for a while. I'm currently reading it, so I don't know if it counts, but I haven't finished it yet. I'm enjoying what I've read so far, but it's one of my most anticipated for the year of newer releases, yeah. And question number 4 is your most anticipated release for the second half of the year. And for that, I think I have Wondersmith, the Call of Morgan Crow, which is the sequel to Nevermore, which I really loved. It could be one of those that were also my favorites of the year so far. But I'm very much looking forward to that one, and it comes out in October, I believe. That's the only one I can come up with right now. There's probably others that I haven't considered, but that's the main one that I'm thinking about. Question number 5 is the biggest disappointment so far in 2018. That is going to be Artemis by Andy Weir. This is was one of my most anticipated reads of last year. I didn't get around to it in 2017, so read it early in this year. And although I went into this with a little lowered expectations than my original ones, it just still really disappointed me. And it's one of my least favorite reads of the year, just purely based on how disappointed I was by it overall. And The Martian is like one of my absolute favorite books of all time, so this really let me down. And hopefully it will be a one-time thing where he writes a mediocre book like this and the next one will be a lot better. I don't know why I've kept it. I usually just get rid of all of the books that I don't like, but there's just something about this that made me not want to throw it out. I think the cover is beautiful, and yeah, I'm gonna keep it for a bit and then we'll see. Question number 6 is the biggest surprise, and that's either gonna be Nevermore, The Trials of Morgan Crow by Jessica Townsend, because that was just a fresh breath of air, what I needed at the time. It was just everything, yeah, that I wanted in a middle grade book. I think that's gonna be my answer for this one, because I haven't given out as many 5-star reads this year as I have previously, but definitely that one surprised me a lot when I read it. I never heard of it before, so it's also one of those that just suddenly it was just there. I had to read it for the Booktube SFF Awards, and then everyone was reading it. Like, also people who was not reading for the Booktube SFF Awards, and I was like, is this really popular? Or is it just because I've been living under a rock and didn't know about it? And it was just amazing. It deserved all of the praise and it got, I think. Question number 7 is your new favorite author, debut or new to you? One of them that I can think of is Catherine Arden, who wrote The Bear and the Nightingale. I was really, really surprised at how well I thought that she was as an author, and it's one of those authors that I think that I'll check out with everything that she publishes in the future, because she's had such a way of making it very atmospheric when you're reading it, and that's something I really appreciate when an author can do that and just really suck you into the story and not want to let it go. I mean, it did take a couple of chapters for me to be completely immersed, because there were so many, like, it was a lot about Russian folklore and the traditions and all of that, and apparently a lot of the names, like a lot of the characters had several different names that were called, so it was a little difficult figuring out when they were talking about a certain character, they would call her different things depending on who was talking to her, I guess. And that's something that was a little confusing in the beginning, but I initially ended up really enjoying it and didn't mind it, and I got used to it. But just, I would really like to read everything that Catherine Arden writes in the future, I think. And so I think I'm gonna go with her. Question number 8 is a new fictional crush, and I don't really get fictional crushes, so I can't really answer this, and it's boring every year, but it's the same every year. I don't get fictional crushes. Question number 9 is your newest favorite character. I think that could go to Nonna from the Book of the Fallen series by Mark Lawrence. Is that what it's called? I just love Nonna. Nonna was amazing. She was very, very, like, really strong character, and I loved her, and I can't wait to read on in that series soon-ish. I don't know when I'll get to that, but really enjoyed that, and so I think I'm gonna award that spot for her. Question number 10 is a book that made you cry, and I haven't cried yet this year. I don't tend to cry often when I read books, but I also often tend to avoid reading books that are probably going to make me cry. I read Song of Achilles earlier this year, and I thought for sure that I would end up crying because everyone else seems to really be emotionally pushed in this one, but I didn't. I was so bored. Like, the majority of this book, I didn't really like it. The characters didn't do anything for me, and so when the big reveal, the big thing happened towards the end, I just didn't really care that much, and so yeah. Question number 11 is a book that made you happy, and that could go for both Nevermore by The Trials of Morgan Crow, and it could go to God's Gods by Terry Pratchett. Both of those made me laugh out loud several times, and it just gave me all of those happy feels when I was reading it. So those two books are competitors for this spot. Question number 12 is a favorite book to film adaptation that you watched this year, and I haven't watched very many films this year. The only thing that I can remember that I have watched was Black Panther, but I haven't read the Marvel comics, so I don't know. I really haven't been to see very many new movies. I also haven't watched, I think, any book-to-movie adaptations that I haven't already read, or in general just book-to-movie adaptations. I'm not sure. I haven't watched a lot of movies. I don't watch a lot of movies generally. I mean, it happens, but it's rarely that I don't. Sometimes I just rewatch something, or I watch some, like, classic movie thing, but that's not an adaptation. Favorite review you've written this year, or for Booktube version, favorite video that you've done so far this year? I don't feel like I've done a lot of new things this year, except I've changed my wrap-up style, but I'm pretty proud of my batch reviews of Stephen King. I think I did that pretty well, although it doesn't get a lot of views, but that's the thing. Even those type of videos, they don't get a lot of views usually. Otherwise, I think I've been doing more like discussion videos, which I think are funny, and I think I'm gonna keep on getting more of those out, also because it gets a lot more interactiveness with the viewers than just your general video topics does. Even though it doesn't necessarily gain a lot more views, it gains more interaction between me and the viewers, and I like that. Question number 14 is the most beautiful book you've bought so far this year or received. First up, I really love the cover for The Dreadful Tale of a Prosper Wedding. It just is so whimsical and beautiful. Like, so beautiful. And then the inside pages looks like this. Another book that I hauled was The Great Book of Amber by Roger Zelazny. I love the cover. I think it's beautiful. I think the spine looks awesome. And just, it's a really giant book, but I just think it's really a beautiful book as well. And I cannot wait to dig into it. It has 10 novels, so that's why it's so big. Each of the novels are probably about 150 pages, so they're not very long. But I'm very eager to get into it, and I'm possibly going to be buddy reading this with Rhea from Buffinkins and Katie from Katie Cat Books in, I don't know when we were discussing starting it, maybe possibly August, September-ish. Finally, yesterday I received This Adventure Ends by Emma Mills. I just love her covers for all of her things. This is like an artsy one where you can see the paint smeared in and out of it like this, and I just think it's such beautiful art. This is going to be the Read Your Face Off book club pick of the month. I haven't been able to participate before. First up because I'm stubborn and I was like, but if I don't have it, I'm not gonna go and buy it. But I've changed my view of that to, if I don't have it, access to it from the library, I'll only buy it if it's a book that I'm actually really interested in reading myself. So I'm sad I didn't get to Then We Were Four by Alexander Zorori the other month, because I think that I would really have loved that. But this one was one that I wanted to read for a while, so I decided to buy it, and I just received it in the mail yesterday, so it's quite appropriate for this video. Question number 15, what books do you need to read by the end of the year? I feel like I have so many that I want to have read. Currently I'm thinking about me needing to finish up some series. I have a couple of series that I only have one more book to read, and I can actually access the books pretty much immediately. So I might be doing a video on that pretty soon. So look out for that. Otherwise, I don't have any specific answers for this. I'm a big mood reader, and that's also why I've decided not to do TBR videos any longer, like monthly TBRs. I feel like you might have noticed, or maybe you haven't, but I haven't posted a monthly TBR this month because I don't tend to follow through on my TBRs. I mean, I might pick some of the books up, but I'm more of a mood reader, and so I'll rather just use readathon TBRs when I do that, because they have specific prompts. So I have to have a selection of books to choose between, where otherwise I'm just going to pick whatever I feel like and see how that goes. Even though I know that TBR videos gets a lot of views usually, so I'm not gonna tag anyone this time because I feel like a lot of people have already done it. The majority of the people that I follow have had a video like this up. Yeah, we're already soon in the middle of July. I mean, we're only in the start of July, but we're past the mid-year now, and so I feel like if I tagged anyone, it would be a little late. I don't know. That's also why I sort of went and filmed this more or less immediately, so that I could get this video out. So definitely let me know in the comments down below what your favorite read was so far this year, what you're most anticipated for the next year, and which book really surprised you. I'd like to know those 3 things, and put a comment about that in the comments below. And if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video very, very soon. Goodbye!